Oh, hey babe, what's going on?
Oh, hey babe, what's going on?
Hi everyone, it's Blue. Make sure you like and subscribe and go follow me on my Twitch and my other YouTube channel. Those links are down below. Also my Patreon, where I have more content on there that I don't post here.
Can you tell Vic to come on down for supper?
You are so bold.
I'm coming!
Today I'm going to be reacting to South Park, Cartman and Heidi by Balloons.
If you'll once again think back to that video, I came up with an unofficial diagnosis for Cartman in terms of what causes him to behave the way he does, and in my unqualified opinion, Cartman fell into the category of a narcissist. And because of this, as we progress through the different stages of their relationship, I will be referencing this list I found on the website Healthline that goes into 11 signs that the person you're dating is a narcissist. I'll be using it to compare the actions we see from Cartman throughout the relationship, and I'm sure there will be no issue with that, as I'm sure this article was written by an actual psychologist. Okay, that was supposed to be a joke, but upon further research, I realized this article was actually verified by an actual doctor of psychology. So never mind, I guess we can take everything this article says as gospel. Even from the moment they started dating, Cartman and Heidi's relationship was built on shaky ground. Heidi decides to quit Twitter and any other form of social media by throwing her phone off a bridge. Cartman has all of his devices destroyed by the other boys after they accuse him of being the notorious internet troll SkankHunt42. Because of these circumstances, Heidi talks to Eric, as she can understand what he's going through. She feels bad for him, and the writers make it clear that that's a big factor in forming their future. They form a friendship over their lack of connection to the internet and eventually even begin to date. And this is where we get to the first sign of dating a narcissist, being initially charming. Obviously, being charming isn't enough to call someone a narcissist, but with the context of how this relationship plays out, this is clearly an early sign of what's to come. From the moment Heidi talked to Cartman for the first time, he was saying everything she wanted to hear, repeating over and over again how she's so smart and funny, specifically funny because as he is quick to remind everyone countless times throughout season 20.
Girls rule, women are funny, get over it.
Now, to the untrained eye, this may seem genuine, as he's in love for the first time and is experiencing all the emotions that come with it. But we're talking about Eric Cartman here. Every little compliment and repeated mantra of smart and funny is calculated, building Heidi up by telling her how awesome she is, making her believe that she's special to him. All of this building up is done with the foresight of how it can be used against her later, and we'll get to that. But in the second half of season 20, we begin to see the first cracks in the facade Cartman is putting on. When he finds out Denmark plans on releasing the internet history of the entire world, he panics because of some emails he sent to Butters about women not being funny. Knowing that Cartman has been lying to Heidi about women being funny gives us our first taste of a trait that will get much worse later on, and that is manipulation and gaslighting. This shows that from the beginning, Cartman has been using the women are funny line to manipulate Heidi into liking him more. But as I mentioned, this is only the beginning. Throughout the rest of season 20, he begins to believe that all women are the same and that they plan to make men irrelevant. Because of this, Cartman is a bit more hesitant around Heidi for the remainder of the season, but there's nothing outstanding that happens that would show that he's not interested in her anymore. The opening of season 21, however, is when we get to see his true intentions come out.
Oh, hey babe, what's going on?
Oh my goodness, it looks like they've actually been dating a lot longer, or dated, or did this whole thing a lot longer than I even realized, because I thought maybe it lasted for a whole season, but they're actually already getting into the fact that it lasted at least 2, or was a thing for more than 1, so interesting, I learned that just now. I thought that, oh yeah, maybe Cartman also could actually just be kind of feeling those initial puppy dog love. Everything seems so much more exciting and cool whenever it's new because puppy love. And maybe he actually did convince himself or just think, oh wait, wow, I like everything about Heidi. I think she's funny. That must mean women can be funny because I think she's funny. I love everything about her. Women must be funny. And maybe he did actually convince himself or genuinely feel he thought that he changed his mind.
Oh, hey babe, what's going on?
So I guess gosh.
Starting off the new season, we see a drastic shift in Cartman's behavior around Heidi. While previously he was excited to see Heidi, now he seems completely deflated and exhausted at the thought of her even existing. And I've seen a lot of people question what exactly caused this change. Why did Cartman all of a sudden become so unhappy in his relationship when this was him before? Well, The answer is actually pretty obvious when you take into account what a narcissist would be looking for in a romantic relationship. That is, control. Because a narcissist only considers their own needs, they'd be more drawn to people that are easier to control, to do exactly what they want when they want. And from the very first scene of this season, we see Cartman has gotten exactly that in a new form. Cartman now has an Alexa, and it gives him everything he wants from a relationship with Heidi. A personal servant that listens to his every command without question and is smart and funny. I mean, this basically renders Heidi completely useless in his mind. Also, they basically spell it out for us in this clip.
You're so... Alexa, define subservient.
The term subservient has several uses. As an adjective: 1. Compliant and obedient to authority. 2.
Alexa, silence!
So then if Cartman basically has everything he wants in the form of a talking AI, why does he keep Heidi around? Well, because he still enjoys that feeling of control I mentioned earlier, but more importantly, staying with Heidi strokes his ego. Narcissists thrive off of putting others down to boost their own ego, and he knows that if he keeps Heidi around, he can do this to her all he wants. And the mental abuse just gets worse from here, as later in this episode, we see another sign of his narcissistic side come out, the gaslighting. He begins to call Heidi mentally abusive, accusing her of basically everything he himself is doing, like building her up to tear her down. This gaslighting is strategic, making himself out to be the victim in a situation where he is clearly the problem. If he can make Heidi believe that he's the victim, then it shifts the blame away from himself and the cycle can continue. Unfortunately for Heidi, it does work, and she apologizes for everything, even though she's done nothing wrong. Cartman actually ends up breaking up with her, once again gaslighting Heidi by claiming she's playing the victim. This is all just another power move, as he clearly intends on getting back with her. He's just doing it to further incept the idea that she's abusive into her mind. His mental manipulation of Heidi worsens in the next episode, when it's revealed that he begged Heidi to take him back, threatening to end his own life if she doesn't. This is a pretty classic manipulative behavior, common in toxic relationships, as it puts the person getting manipulated into an unwinnable situation if they believe the other person might actually do it. And of course, this is another sign of a narcissist, panic when being broken up with. There are countless more examples of Cartman's manipulative behavior, such as accusing Heidi of cheating, pretending to be a suicide activist to stroke his own ego, and literally trying to murder Heidi by taking her on a walk through the woods dressed as Hansel and Gretel when they know there's a witch on the loose. Okay, that one's pretty funny just because of how absurd it is, but anyways. If I listed everything in this video, it would be 30 minutes long, so let's go ahead and move on to the outcome of all this abuse.
Oh, hey, babe, what's going on?
What's so sad about the gaslighting that he did is she almost did essentially become what he was claiming that she was, but she wasn't that. She wasn't. He gaslit her and kind of turned her into that. But you exhaust somebody so much, constantly making them feel like they're the reason why you're miserable. She's probably going to start being miserable around you because you always make her feel awful. So it's so sad to see. Oh my gosh, it looks like the result is that she turned into Cartman. Because she's treating him how he treated her, which is, hey babe, what's going on? And just seems exhausted. She's even gained a lot of weight and is breaking out. Cartman doesn't break out, but he doesn't clearly eat healthy. So yeah, Heidi basically just became Cartman. And Cartman might even actually now fall into the whole pit of, oh, well, she was annoying, and I did treat her this way, and I don't want to be with her, and I am manipulative because I don't want to get rid of her, but because she's nice to have her on a little bit. I don't know, like it's a game to him. But now that she starts treating him like this, I almost feel like he might fall into the, why does she seem like she doesn't like me? And he's going to kind of fawn for her acceptance.
Oh, hey, babe, what's going on?
Jekyll and Heidi.
So I've been talking this whole time about how Cartman has been mentally abusive towards Heidi, but I haven't really talked much about the actual effects the abuse has had on her. Episode 7 of Season 21 opens with Cartman once again threatening to end his own life if Heidi doesn't get back with him. He tries to blame his actions on everything besides himself, eventually saying his anger is caused by his blood sugar since he eats so unhealthily. Heidi propositions a vegan diet, and he agrees to it to keep their relationship. He begins to feed her non-vegan food, lying to her, telling her it is vegan. She begins to gain some weight, and Cartman is constantly ridiculing her for this, once again putting her down to make himself feel better. We get our first real look into Heidi's feelings about the relationship when Kyle gets involved and tries to explain to her that people like Cartman will always victimize themselves to have the edge over others. She explains how she was in a vulnerable place when they started dating, and she kinda just went along with it. Now she's been defending him for so long that she can't imagine facing anyone if she actually broke up with him. This type of mindset is very common in not only toxic relationships, but abusive ones. As the victims have experienced so much abuse and manipulation, they feel trapped in their situation with no way out. Kyle actually talks her into breaking up with Cartman, but when she's ridiculed by her friends for ever being with Cartman, she gets defensive and returns to him. It's just like the title of the episode, she's doubling down. She doesn't want to feel like an idiot for being in the relationship, and when her friends make her feel like one, she wants to prove them wrong. At this point, being trapped in a relationship with a narcissist, Heidi has two options in her mind. A, she can continue on in this relationship as it is now, horribly emotional since Cartman is always trying to make her think she's a bad person, or B, stoop to his level and use his own tactics against him, play the victim even harder than him. She chooses the second option, and this leads her to becoming a near clone of Cartman. She's built like him, she talks like him, is a jerk to everyone like him, and manipulates people like him. She's even better at being Cartman than Cartman is, because as Mr. Mackey puts it,
she's kinda like Cartman, but with the ability to follow through.
Oh, dude. Bro.
she's truly become a terrifying force to be reckoned with. It even escalates from mental abuse to physical abuse, as now they're fighting in the hallways of school. She's truly outdone Cartman in her ability to play the victim, a feat which is equally as impressive as it is terrible. This all comes to a head in the final episode of season 21. Throughout the episode, they pass by significant locations throughout Cartman and Heidi's relationship, and she slowly begins to put the pieces together. By the end of the episode, she finally realizes what she's become. She realizes what Cartman has turned her into. And while she can recognize Cartman's part into making her into the person she is today, she also blames herself. She understands that she let the idea of being a victim overtake her life and become who she is. She realizes Cartman's train of thought. If you're always the victim, you can justify being a horrible person. She understands that the only way out now is to stop feeling sorry for herself and move on. She breaks up with Cartman on the spot. He tries his tactics of threatening his own life, but she doesn't buy into it anymore. She allows Cartman to play the victim for the last time, telling him she's done doing the same, and she walks away, ending it for good.
If you always make yourself the victim, you can justify being awful.
Oh my goodness. I feel like I was there. Like I watched the whole thing and the whole thing's being broken down. I mean, even at the end of the day where she finally kind of realizes it, she's still taking accountability and says, you know, I still played a part in this because I had opportunities to get out of the situation. Like that one time, she didn't have to double down and continue to be the victim because she was more ashamed of her friends making fun of her. Not good friends, by the way, but making fun of her because, yeah, that's too soon to make a joke. Wait a few years, then you can all laugh about it together. Like, oh yeah, remember? Oh, that was so silly of you, but it's okay. But, like, right after she breaks up with him and then says, oh yeah, you're dumb and stupid, like, that's so mean. And so she doubles down and she goes back, but she doesn't even blame her friends for that. She even says, oh, well, I mean, maybe I kind of almost wanted to be a victim. Like, just feel sorry for myself. So yeah, I thought that this was a really good breakdown of something, and it also gave me much better insight of a timeline that I probably wouldn't have had unless if I watched all of the episodes, which probably wasn't going to happen anytime soon, or saw at least a full episode. So, well, even watching one episode, I wouldn't have known how it ended, started, what happened in the middle. He gave a lot of really good details and a breakdown. If you haven't already, make sure you go check out Bloom's channel. This is the first that I'm seeing of it, but make sure you go and show support and check out Bloom's channel. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to mine yet, make sure you do that before you leave. And go check out my Twitch and my Patreon, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching.